Now you see, that's where you needed to have cut
The
into.
humble streetwalker, a creature ubiquitous to the streets. These voluptuous bitches prowl the Los Angeles streets, preying on their natural prey, and predator the trick. Quite the skittish creatures, they flee when recorded. The combined weight of their shame and hastily purchased BBLs, at times too great for their ankles to bear. Those who can seek shelter in the surrounding businesses. Best not linger inside too long, though. Their pimp, Demarcus Demetrius III, is quick to slap any bitch that dare return with insufficient funds. When threatened, they twerk, generating powerful waves of niggerific energy, lessening the decision-making abilities of all who bear witness. Some attack via more conventional means, failing spectacularly, as have all their fathers in raising them.
Well, that was certainly a segue.
Jesus fucking Christ! I hadn't heard that yet.
I thought it was funny right up until the twerking bit.
I mean, no, the twerking bit was kind of funny, but yeah. You know, you should prepare people for racism time to open with.
So that video, somebody flew a drone around like LA and just bothered prostitutes, then did a David Attenborough voiceover for the video.
I mean, that's pretty base.
Wonderful.
It is.
I cannot, in fact, be mad at Ayrton. Just before we went live, I was, in fact, saying that Corpo drones working for Acclaimed Blizzard should have been violated in prison for designing a town. I
really tried to time it right so we would go live. You would say that, and then this video would play. But I think I messed the timing up on that one.
You did. I called that out.
You were talking about mail delivery quests, though. And, you know, I am a Borderlands aficionado. And in Borderlands 2, there are 2 of those quests. And they're fucking awful. They completely go against everything else in the game. Like, they are completely unpaced for the rest of the game.
Mail quests are awful in any game they appear because they fail to recreate what they're trying to evoke.
Well, I disagree. I disagree. What you're describing to me, Rune, sounds like what it is to send mail through the U.S. Postal Service as part of a business.
Right, but what they're trying to evoke is the Pony Express, which is an adventure.
But in Borderlands, there's a timer affixed to your mail delivery. So from the time you start the quest, you only have a certain amount of time to complete it, and you're getting shot at, which is kind of like delivering mail in Detroit, from what I understand here.
You better get my fucking Borderlands Prime delivery here on time, motherfucker.
I mean, it really is your neighbor, though, who stole it.
But no,
just like it was your neighbor who stole the copper out of your hot water heater.
In a much broader sense, though, they think that what they're making in their game is the Pony Express, right? Where you're going to ride your horse over dangerous land full of violent natives and banditos and environmental hazards, but that mail's got to get through for that payday, right? And it's very romantic. But then when you're actually playing a video game, it's the worst kind of drudgery and the least interesting kind of pointless task. Because the dangers are there anyway, and the rewards are never worth it. The game economy does not support the rewards ever be worthing it.
Holy shit, there's a text editor in Twitter now. I didn't realize that you can bold.
There is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
wait, what?
Yeah, when you go to make a tweet on the website, you can bold and italicize shit now.
Uncle Elon has been upgrading the interface.
Yeah, and removing circles, much to most people's chagrin, but I don't give a shit. I never used them.
Well, I mean, he's also trying to monetize the X.
Triangle's all the way for us men.
The reason he's trying to monetize the X is, number one, it'll get rid of bots, and number two, it'll make Twitter less dependent on advertising.
Right. But when somebody
really what we all want in the end.
The thing is, when somebody threw out there the potentiality that X was going to get monetized in such a way that even if you were a free user, you'd have to pay for it, I went, oh, so you mean X will die?
Oh, we're live on Rumble now too, by the way.
Because that's what's going to happen.
Sweet.
Is if they do that, just no one will use X anymore. We will move on again.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, people are so
Because the corporations need Twitter.
I understand corporations need Twitter, but the thing is that it's the same thing with Facebook and MySpace. Is that process of you start a space where young people go, and then their parents go there, and then
places like Circles are also gay on Twitter.
But that's why he's wanting to make the whole thing with Twitter becoming a super app.
Right.
But by the way, I'm seriously debating remaking a MySpace because all the other social media is so gay right now.
No. Have you seen MySpace?
I haven't.
Passenger pigeons is the only acceptable form of social media.
There's a very old video now that is one of my favorite videos on the internet by a small group of then teenage filmmakers. So I don't know if they're still making films or not, but they used to be called Death to Emo. Okay, and the video.
I support their message.
Well, the video in question has an emo kid taking photographs of himself, and he's gonna look, and he's telling his viewers, "I'm gonna load my photos to MySpace." And then he goes to his computer. His computer is missing, right? So he goes looking for it, and he finds it in the middle of the park in the woods. And he's like, "I don't remember leaving my computer in a forest." So he's gonna use his computer at the bench, which is like, it's not plugged in, right? At which point a dude with no shirt on, wearing a Viking helmet, carrying a sledgehammer, leaps onto the table and smashes his fucking computer.
By the way,
I was just looking at it. No, never mind. I'm not remaking MySpace.
That is wise. That's wise. I wanted to help you.
Wait, the 9 Inch Nails are on tour?
So
bring that back up.
Well, I mean, now Ayrton's gonna have to bring that back up because I closed that window. I got
it. So September 21st to September 23rd, Louder Than Life 23. So it's not a tour; it's just a weekend, and it's over.
So since they were playing up until yesterday.
Wait, the Red Hot Chili Peppers aren't even a headlining band. It doesn't look like.
No, because they're not strong enough to have a retirement tour band.
Limp Bizkit's a headliner, and the Chili Peppers aren't.
Yeah.
Fucking queer.
Limp Bizkit has more people who want to see it as a retirement band.
Viagra Boys?
Yeah.
I live in a dark world.
Yeah, you do.
So you should be listening to Suicide, Silence, and Sleep Token.
You
Those
know,
are also
if we put the wall up,
together?
the world.
Yeah.
If we put the wall up, the world wouldn't be so dark, Rand.
I don't see the Chili Peppers on this list at all. That was false advertising.
Well, they were on the tour at one point, so they get to stay on the tour advertising.
Well, actually, I know what happened, Church. They were on the tour, but they gave it away.
Fuck you. AWOL Nation.
That was an excellent drop there. That was a good job.
Thank you.
Apparently that asshole Oliver Anthony.
You know, one of these days I'll get a proper, like, like one of those Elgato soundboards or something. So it's a little.
I mean, there's all sorts of soundboards out there.
Yeah, we just get your Stream Deck and probably program it as a soundboard at this point.
That's true. I probably could do that at this point. But Elgato's the only one I know off the top of my head that makes a dedicated like soundboard that I could run through all my audio shit going on in here.
The only one with a tin can hookup.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know if you missed it or not, but there's a band on this tour or on this weekend called Wargasm, and I find that refreshing.
I mean, Wargasm, I think, is a heavy metal band.
Wait, is George Bush like the lead guitar player for that?
I mean, that would be an incredibly based sort of war take on it.
It would be if they performed in like presidents who had started like huge international incidents as their mask.
You mean every president since World War One?
Yeah. No, Clinton
exactly
didn't start
that.
anything.
Huh?
I don't think Clinton started any international incidents.
He did. He started several.
No, we're talking about Benghazi. That was her.
No. Bill started the whole thing in Kosovo.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I read some new comic books from a major comic book company.
I was supposed to read some Amalgam comics this week, and I didn't do it.
Yeah. So was I. I was gonna try to before the show, but it wouldn't have been a good review.
I am actually disappointed because those were surprisingly good. It was a nice return to the olden times.
So, JMS,
we'll get to it. We'll get to it, Rune. We'll get to it.
The guy behind Babylon 5, he saw the writer strike coming, so he made a deal with Marvel.
Is who you're talking about.
Yeah, but I call him JMS because that's what you do on the internet.
Most notably known for his runs on Thor and Spider-Man, it looks like.
I mean, in Babylon 5 TV show.
Isn't his Thor run the one that basically put Asgard in Oklahoma?
It was.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good run. I like that.
Yeah.
So this comic is setting up a issue of Captain America as a sort of totemic representation of that period of the Depression. No, it's not a literal totemic representation.
Well, let me just pause you because I still want to hear more, but I want to roll back a minute. The only reason I hate that is because that was a component of I can't remember the exact year. It was Neil Gaiman's pet comic 1601 that he did for Marvel.
1602.
Yeah, but it's not totemic like that. That's retarded totemic representation.
No, 1602 was good.
No, it was, but the idea that Captain America is Rajas and is the representation of America to Native Americans,
that was
being a blonde-haired white guy,
that was
fucking retarded.
No, it was fucking hilarious.
That was the most base thing ever.
No fucking
anyway.
Look, we're not going to get into arguing the politics of how much Neil Gaiman is a piece of shit, okay? We can talk about that later.
So this comic focuses on... This comic focuses on two things, an A plot and a B plot. The A plot is about how Steve Rogers grew up in the Depression, had to be a hardworking, hustling New York City boy, and how he did all of that and maintained the spirit of hope, pride, America, rah, rah, rah.
America!
Adjacent in that A plot is the building he lives in. Yeah, the building he lives in is owned by a company that's kicking everybody out because, it's not cheap to run apartment buildings. But you know who it is cheap for? A guy who has plot devising levels of money access, like Steve Rogers.
No, because doesn't he take a loan out from Tony Stark to do it?
Right, that's his plot devising. That's his plot device.
He's like, bro, Captain America isn't lucrative enough. You can't just like merchandise out your likeness for infinite money.
I mean, also, he could have put some money in the bank in the 30s, and it could be worth a lot of money. He could have invested in some things. Whatever. We're gonna hand wave all that.
Real quick. Let's segue off from that just real quick and come back to it. Do you think in Secret Wars in Infinity Gauntlet, Marvel, MCU, do you think that Steve Rogers, when he went back in time, do you think he just put like $10 in the bank, and now that he's old Steve Rogers, he has fuck you money?
I mean, that'd be incredibly based.
Well, I think Steve Rogers got himself a copy of the Sports Almanac, and then
Great
made a
Sports
couple
Almanac.
of
He
made
Marty McFly'd it.
yeah, made a couple of careful bets at the racetrack, which was perfectly legal and acceptable at the time.
As you do.
That's actually kind of the plot point of that Stephen King book about saving Kennedy.
Yeah, but Stephen King is freaking gay.
And they have a parallel story about a rich villainous asshole who's going into the Amazon or some jungle in South America to, find a temple to some ancient thing, one last stab at glory.
As you do.
And then the evil demon from the temple possesses him, rejuvenates his body. And then he's meeting up with the former leader of Advanced Idea Mechanics that got taken over by Sunspot and became the USA Avengers, which is one of the better things that's been done in the Avengers comics, in my opinion. And he's like, "Going, hey, I got a plan to fix some things." And the book ends with Steve seeing one of my least favorite tropes about pre-World War II America: Steve encountering the German-American Bund. It was a thing. It was a thing, and the Bund was a problem, but we always like to make it out to be a bigger problem than it actually was. It is very similar to what happened on January 6th. It was just a bunch of assholes who are willing to use violence as their primary method of politics.
Yeah, but January 6th was fucking hilarious.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't because it
was pretty fucking funny.
Because if any of these people paid attention to their civics class in high school, they would have realized, wait a minute, what Donald Trump is telling me is stupid and wrong.
It depends on your perspective and whether or not you were involved. Just because Ayrton wasn't there and thinks it's hilarious doesn't mean it's actually hilarious. But he's allowed to have that opinion.
Watching Congress sitting there like cowering behind their seats is fucking hilarious. Come on.
Mm-hmm. So I also watched Dawn of DC Superman. Or I read it, not watched it. That'd be really weird. Watching a comic book. It's the continuation of the very slow, drawn-out retcon / deconstruction of Metropolis as a setting and Lex Luthor as a person. And Superman had been, taken over LexCorp and had been kind of cleaning up a lot of the supervillain messes that are Lex Luthor adjacent. And he found somebody with superpowers that Lex imprisoned in a box in the river. And Superman went to get this guy out and say, "Hey, buddy, we want to offer you some, social services and some things because
it was a box, not a van.
It was a box. It was a big box designed to be a prison, and this guy was
were there
strong
wheels
enough.
on it?
There was not any wheels on it. That's why it's a box.
Okay.
And it was also square on all the sides, which also, again,
it could have been a Tesla van.
Yeah, but no, those are still rectangular.
No, that's a truck. See, he's improved the design. It's fully square now on the van.
Anyway, and we're continuing to see that. Lois being the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. It is a good basic Superman story, and there hasn't been any weird stuff happening that makes me want to be angry, and I appreciate that.
Until Superman calls Batman for a loan to buy some apartments for the new superhero.
That is the thing, Larry. I think you actually touched on something. It's not that we don't like comics, because we're not unpleasable fan base. We love comics. Comics are great.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not that we want comics to be boring. Like, inoffensive is bad. It's pedestrian. But we appreciate comics that don't do something or go out of their way to make us angry. I don't like coming away from games, as I was just playing video games, being angry at my experience for some intrinsic flaw somebody put into it, right? I don't like watching videos on the internet say about cooking, Ayrton, and wanting to hurt people.
What about
can't,
cooking?
You exactly know.
Huh? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I find cooking relaxing. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's the thing. I enjoy cooking, but watching people cook badly makes me angry, and I don't like it. Right? I don't like the idea of comics that make me so mad I can't see straight.
So, I have two other things I want to cover as reviews. One is a comic, and the other is a product.
Let me interject. Let me interject in your reviews. I actually have what I would now officially term as a sideways review.
Okay.
I think I've talked to you all before. My wife has this uncanny power, and I've done my best to figure out how to counteract it. But she can be watching just the worst thing on television, like something that me on my own I would never sit down and pay attention to. And then suddenly I find myself 4 episodes deep wanting to finish it. Well, today I managed to finally, for the first time, avoid whatever it was she was watching. And I'm a little disappointed by it. However, I can give you a review of it based on what I know about it from the Wikipedia and what she told me of it, because it is a new show on Netflix called The Guardians of Justice.
I don't think that's a new show on Netflix. Let me double check that. Show? Just a second.
Oh, it was in 2022. It's new to me.
It's not new to you. It's not new to you, Church. I reviewed it on this show.
Okay, well, I didn't watch it then, and I didn't pay attention to your review because I was probably drunk at the time. So now I have a review of it.
Is that the one with the founding fathers as superheroes?
No. This is the one where Diamond Dallas Page plays essentially Batman, and Adi Shankar, the producer of the show, essentially plays Lex Luthor. Superman is gay and Asian, but that's like a big plot point from a show from like a year ago. Yeah, there's also Robo Hitler. The dude from Contra is one of the superheroes. He was basically Nightwing. They have a Thor character that's basically Damian Wayne.
They have a Shazam character that also acts as a Robin.
No, that's what I mean. He's Shazam, but he's also Damian Wayne.
Oh, you called him Thor, but yeah.
I'm yeah. I mean, it's kind of the same.
Okay, so I didn't pay attention to it this time either. However, just from her description of it and the few fleeting glimpses of the screen that I did catch while it was on, I can already tell you that whoever created this thing has read The Dark Knight Returns.
He has.
They have read Kingdom Come.
He has.
They have read Irredeemable.
He has.
And they have read The Boys. And they said, you know what? This shit's the best. This is exactly what comic books should be like.
Hold up, my friend. I don't think you remember this guy or what he's all about. So I'm gonna pull something up for you.
I think this is an important measure.
So Adi Shankar made
his work. As a former fan of his work, Adi Shankar is a piece of shit.
He's a Hollywood producer, so yes.
I am familiar with what he's done. He was part of Dredd, was he not?
Yes. He was. He got us the only good Dredd movie.
Yeah, it is the best and only good thing he's ever done. Carry on.
I disagree, because he's also was involved with let me scroll down here to see.
If you say Castlevania, that's mostly a Mark Millar joint.
Actually, this thing that I just put in the side there, if Ayrton could pull that up, that YouTube clip.
I don't know if I can at the moment. I'm in the middle of something.
Okay, so you remember that?
So hard.
You remember that YouTube video that showed the Power Rangers as child soldiers in a post-apocalyptic future?
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
He did that. Unfortunately, he also did a video about, making a Punisher movie with the actual Punisher from the The Marvel.
But let's be clear. A laughably bad Punisher video about using
here's
comics
the thing, and let's not get too sidetracked.
No, let me finish. Because the whole thing uses the opening Joker theme from Dark Knight, which had just come out.
But let's not get too far off track here. See, here's the thing. This guy takes and he encases all of his work in this satire blanket. But it doesn't work. Because there was one scene that I did get a chance to see. And it was kind of a fucking heartbreaking scene. It was near the very end of the season where the Shazam character basically, spoiler alert, the Shazam character
murdered his girlfriend.
Murder his girlfriend, the Speedster.
Yeah.
At the behest of fascist Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And,
played by Diamond Dallas Page, a wellness guru.
Yes. But, you know, he... that was not satire. That was not funny. That was not entertaining. That did not make me chuckle. There was no lightness to that situation.
But it was good storytelling.
Sure, but it wasn't satire. Therefore, it's not encased wholly in this blanket that he wants it to be. Which is why I said at the very beginning, he read those books and said, you know what? This is fucking great.
I'm just saying, sometimes you have to kick somebody in the balls. That's his philosophy.
Right, but see, here's the thing. It would have been satirical if when old boy grabbed her by the throat and proceeded to kill her, instead of killing her, she'd have just kicked him in the balls with super speed, and then you would have gotten an x-ray of his testicles flying out of his asshole. That would have been satire and funny.
Adi Shankar has a schizophrenic storytelling personality. All right? He either wants to be super serious and then cuts it with comedy that is ill-timed in the Marvel way, or he wants to be really funny and he understands that you need contrast and he cuts it with things that are not funny inexplicably.
That's why you weren't able to pull that up. I get it now.
I was in the middle of editing that clip down.
But
so
I mean, at least he's not like Mark Millar with a fetish for shooting people in the head.
Well, here's my thing, man. I saw this again. It's everything that my wife told me about it. I was able to pick the story that it was pulled from. Like all of these tropes have been used, but these were so on the nose that I was able to single-handedly identify the inspiration for that piece of storytelling.
In my
That's not good storytelling.
In my opinion, this is an element of that imprecise personality in his storytelling. He knows why people do things, or at least he knows how they did them, but doesn't understand how to use them. He just uses them, and then if you don't like it, he either accuses you of being a racist, or he plays like he's an actor and he's just
hold up.
inscrutable.
Also, Teal'c from Stargate was the president of the United States.
That was based.
Right. I mean, based Teal'c is based. So
you know, back in the day on 4chan, I used to take images that people would post, and I would post under them the same image with Teal'c symbols superimposed on all the foreheads for no reason.
So
it was some of the best and easiest trolling I ever did. People would become infuriated.
So if you can click on the first Twitter link I have there, pull up that image.
I got you. Yeah,
I'm good. I got it.
You got it.
Okay. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah. The Matt Krotz tech.
Yeah. Pull that up. Yeah, pull that up.
Oh, never mind. Rubicon Swatch. I see.
Yeah. So this is the box that Matt sent the comic book in, along with the other things in the package I purchased. I got an actual
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah, because that way Nintendo can't sue. That image right there is an AI art image that Matt produced to look like the classic 80s, early 90s style of Nintendo art. Inside the comic book is a QR code for me to download music, which I haven't downloaded. The actual Roman coin, which is kind of neat. I mean, it's from a coin collecting perspective, it's not a very good coin, but I mean, it's a Roman coin. It was a neat little thing to pick up.
Is it off center like a good Roman coin would be? Like, is it struck off center? Perfect meaning.
Yeah. And I think there's like a little chip taken out of it too.
Oh, very good, very good.
And there's a recipe book for Mai Tais in there. So Matt and I are
Mai Tai or modern.
It's a range of different Mai Tais that have taken picks from various different Mai Tai producing people. So one of these days, Matt and I are gonna go out and pick some of the Mai Tais from his book, and I'll give you an alcohol review on the show after that one.
Fuck yeah!
Immediately after it.
Yes, I want Mai Tai drunk when you're kind of slurring.
That's what I just said. Yes.
Well, I mean, the problem is I want to go when my buddy from high school is actually the bartender at the local tiki bar in town. So that's going to be.
Call in.
No, he's not working during the show.
We'll do. You can call in and let Ayrton record it.
or we can do a special Larry drunk stream.
I mean, I don't have enough money to get drunk, so we won't be doing that.
Well, how many Mai Tai recipes are in here? If you're trying all of them.
Hold on, how much do you need for this?
Yeah,
I can get you a price quote. I can get you a price quote for that, but it's also during the work week, which becomes problematic.
Just
request a time off.
Yeah.
Look. I feel the need to mention. I
like how degenerates think exactly alike.
I feel the need to mention that Larry and I hang out when we're not on the show. We often have intricate conversations about stuff that you guys would find painfully boring. And at one point, I asked him about a given set of circumstances.
We're trying to make us jealous, George, because I'm the only one who's hung out with Larry like IRL.
And
he's not going to come visit me. We've established that.
Well, I mean,
I asked Larry.
I have to go to South Carolina or Arkansas or wherever you're from. Oh yeah.
I asked Larry, why did somebody do this thing? And he said, well, they needed a Jew, and he used the Family Guy joke. Right?
Yes.
And I said, well, Larry, I had a question, and I came to you for counsel, and we haven't talked about your consultation fee. So if Larry says he can't afford to get drunk, I don't have any reason to doubt him. He's a Jew.
I'm just saying. I have a strong Gaelic constitution for alcohol.
Oh, so
not the Irish not the Irish Gaelic constitution. The Scottish Gaelic constitution.
So the reason you
hold up. No. What is that supposed to mean?
No. What it actually means is it's not that he can't afford to get drunk on a mechanical level. It's he can't afford to pay the after effects for getting drunk when he gets into a fist fight.
Well, no. It's both. It's both.
Well, I feel like you can't afford it because you don't want to hand the money over to the bartender.
I hate to break your illusion, Larry.
If it's a Scottish version of not getting drunk, it's just because you're too cheap to actually give them any money.
I hate to break your illusion, but Mai Tais are made with rum and not scotch, so that constitution don't mean a goddamn thing.
Oh no! I've already went to the Mai Tai bar in question.
But by the way,
I did not go to.
So there's a trick. If you're gonna be at a restaurant and drinking before 11 a.m., if you order a drink with rum in it, people just think you're a pirate instead of an alcoholic.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I have.
They do look
at
you funny when you ask for a rum Bloody Mary.
I have went to this Mai Tai restaurant and I didn't, go for the 151 based Mai Tais because I'm not a bad man. No. my best friend got loaded up on 151 on his bachelor party, and I had to deal with the consequences of that. And I'm like going, no, no.
All right.
Let's bring it back. Let's
So you have PTSD.
let's bring it back in.
It.
Let's bring it back in.
Yeah, let's go down to the next item I have for review.
No,
the second
we
Twitter link.
finish. You brought up.
Oh,
brought up Kyrie for a reason in response to what I was talking about.
Well, I was bringing that in as part of my comic book reviews because it's one of the comic books I got between shows that I read.
You just segued completely out of my topic. Okay, I see. I understand. Good. Excellent. Continue.
Well, no, I mean, you segued off of my topic.
I need to download Rodney Dangerfield saying no respect and add that to the
definitely not.
just for church.
But I got this stuffed toy in the mail.
Oh, that's ER.
That is ER.
You know,
ER had a.
He just did a video.
He did. ER had a limited edition run of little plush stuffed toys, and I got one of them. It came in a neat green package. It is well made. There's only one little flaw in the stitching that I see in the back, but Also, the hair thing there is kind of like a hair piece, so you can actually slip your fingers underneath it, which is kind of weird. And unlike the USA agent, or the thing that Tim Lim does, the Rabbit American Secret Agent one, my cat has not been interested in taking this away to play with.
It might scare your cat.
It could. But I got that, and I wanted to showcase that off. And amazing how quality content producers can deliver you products in a promised time frame.
Yeah, it really only takes one or two experiences with doing a crowdfunding campaign or really any kind of release and being able to nail down your time frame. Really, you should be able to nail it down within one or two projects.
Yeah.
I mean, wait a minute. You're saying that people
not 3.5 years late.
You're saying that people actually fulfill? Because that
I know, right? Matt Krotz actually has fulfilled 3 consecutive campaigns.
Well,
on time?
Excuse me, 4 consecutive campaigns on time.
Well, here's the thing. I may have mentioned this previously, but I am actually low-key upset. I have a deep sorrow that is coming to me because I'm going to have to go toe-to-toe with a major game company. See, there's this.
If it's Wizards of the Coast, you got this.
No, it's a.
It is not, unfortunately.
It's a board game company called Mythic Games. Okay, who make good games? Like, they make good product. Before the pandemic, they ran a Kickstarter for the Darkest Dungeon board game. Now, I love Darkest Dungeon. I really, really do. So I had good money.
What kind of board game can you make around Dark Ascension?
No, Darkest Dungeon.
Oh, Darkest Dungeon. Okay.
Yeah.
The thing is that I had a lot of money at the time, and I was like, oh wow, I can actually get the big boy purchase. I can get the ultimate box of a thing, and I'm gonna get so many minis. I love painting minis, and it's gonna be fun. And I of course had missed the boat with like the Dark Souls board game. I was never getting in on that, right? And my mom was alive, so I'm like, Mom, you're gonna love this. It's gonna be great. Mom was like, oh yeah, that sounds lovely. Let's see what that's like. So I funded it. I threw in the hard money, and I'm like, yeah. The pandemic hit. Okay, they had shipping troubles. Everybody had those. They said, okay, guys, we're sorry. We're going to have to ask you for more money. And I had the money then. I'm like, okay, I can understand you having some problems. So for phase 1, they asked for some more money. Okay. I didn't receive it till a month after my mom was dead.
God
that
damn.
hurts. That's pretty bad. So then there I am, and I'm waiting for my phase 2. And now they're talking about how phase 2 is going to ship probably in October. Okay. And they're saying, they've been saying the whole time, we're not going to ask for more money. We're not going to ask for more money. We're not going to ask for more money. They might ask for more money. And I don't necessarily have that money anymore. But I fucking paid them for their fucking product. And I fucking want it. and I'm gonna fucking get it. I don't care if it's late. I want it.
Yeah.
And the thing is that this is key, because when we start talking about other guys over in the indie sphere who do not have the resources and support of major corporations, right? You know, who do not have the big money, it's like you got even less excuse. Because I know you can't make up the differences. I know you can't play loose and fast with the money. You must deliver. And you want to fuck your people? Nah. Fulfill. If any comic people are watching this at all, fulfill. Just do it. I don't care if you have to go into Hawk. I don't care if you have to sell your child or your kidney. Fulfill. Fulfill, or just don't fucking promise what you can't deliver.
And I got 3 more things in my list of reviews.
Yeah, I will say we've complained about EVS a bit, but he did send me a lot of shit. A lot of it I don't want, and it's just taking up space. But he did send a lot of shit with the book that I got. Like, I got the main book, I got a bunch of extra shit, some stickers, a keychain.
You ordered that book in like what,
the action
2019?
figure, but it was fucking annoying. Something like that. Yeah, just give me the fucking book. I don't care about the other bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I don't want a Cyberfrog keychain. It's just gonna sit in this box. Like, I'm not gonna do anything with it.
I'm a grown ass
Unless
man.
it's one of those
over on my feet.
Hold up. What if it's a Cyberfrog keychain that's a beer bottle opener? Because those are pretty awesome.
No, because I have a nice beer bottle opener that's made out of like brass that my sister got me when she was living over in Ireland.
Right.
Like, why would
I mean, like, do you take that with you? Do you take that with you when you go to a bar, when you go to somebody's barbecue?
When I go to
you ordered a beer that didn't have a twist off.
When was the
and
last
they didn't
time
take it off at the bar?
Yeah, when was the last time you've been to a bar that they didn't take the cap off for you?
That was 2 or 3 years ago.
Never go to that bar again.
It's a beer snob bar that has multiple beers from all over the world.
Okay.
And it also has
those. Is it a flying saucer?
No. It's based out of an old barn. It used to be called the Cock and Bull. They changed the name when they went to the new owners, and allegedly, people I went to high school with drank there illegally when they were in high school. Allegedly. But that is something that is well past the statute of limitations.
Still, like, I don't know. Something happened over on Ibrex show that I forget. If they get so many likes, or if so many of them come and watch the show and give it likes, like I'll put the Cyberfrog figure up my ass, like Chris Chan style. I don't remember exactly what happened.
Were you drunk at the time?
Probably.
I mean, I don't think they could hold you to a promise you made when you were drunk.
I don't know. All I remember is they were talking about me shoving the Cyberfrog figure up my ass and then mailing it to a Lazmat. Something like that.
And that's dying, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Oh man, I'm about to spend $70 on the Injustice Kickstarter version of DC deck building game.
Nice.
I should have known that it was crowdfunded, but they apparently kickstarted their last one. I don't understand why they would do that.
So Netflix has a neat feature.
$105 to get the Rivals too.
Mm-hmm. So Atlas, Larry, tell us.
So I'm going to talk about Atlas. So you see, Netflix has this cool feature. So I'm not going to be able to give the full balls to the wall review that I normally do, where you get to see unfinished product. You get to tell them what you think about their unfinished product.
Wait, seriously? That's a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing. If you've leveled up enough with Netflix, they will trust you to do this. So I saw this. Now I want you to look at the 2 of the stars there. One of those is Marvel Comics Shang-Chi, and one of them is Marvel Comics Shang-Chi. Who do you think's in the movie more, Jennifer Lopez or Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi.
No,
really?
He's barely in the movie. 9/10 of the movie is Jennifer Lopez. just by herself. Maybe not 9/10, maybe like 7/10. But this was a really interesting experience. Hopefully, I can see more movies like this in advance.
Wait, this synopsis, that's just the plot to the second Avengers movie.
Kinda. But
no, it
they
is.
Who explodes the building in the third world country then?
Oh, there's no third world country involved.
Oh, I'm out.
It's a planet in the Andromeda system.
This is an Avatar movie?
Well, no. Avatar is in the Alpha Centauri system.
I'm out guys. As well.
Somebody said balls to the wall, and I just instantly was grooving on accept for the last 5 minutes. I've heard nothing.
Nice.
I think someone said cocaine monkey earlier, and that's the only reason I'm here.
Well, if you're wanting cocaine.
By the way, folks, if you say cocaine monkey 3 times into your mirror after midnight, church will appear.
I will. I will show up to see the cocaine monkey.
Now, if you do want to talk about cocaine monkey, you should click on the next link.
It's really all I'm here to talk about. I'm just waiting to get to that.
Oh, fuck. I forgot they were doing this.
Yep. So, church.
Is it as stupid as I thought it was going to be?
We're going to talk about this for a minute. So, church, what is your connection to the Spy Kids franchise?
I don't have one because I'm a heterosexual.
I mean, have you watched any of them?
You have children.
No.
What is your connection to the Spy Kids?
Yeah,
franchise?
There's at least.
Church, you're like 2 years older than me. Like, I had a crush on the main chick when I was a kid. Don't give me that shit.
No, it was never something that was in my periphery.
So, Ayrton, what's your connection?
I was watching
to the Spy
Dragon
Kids
Ball
franchise?
Z when this shit was going on.
Other than being the hot.
Yeah, but I was watching apparently more of it than you were.
Other than having the hots for the main character chick.
That's about it. I mean, I thought it was cool because I also grew up watching like James Bond movies way younger than somebody could be. So
here's something you gotta understand about me, Larry. When I was like 7 years old, my dad fucked up and ordered "Don't Be a Menace" in South Central while drinking your juice in the hood.
I mean, I don't think that's screwing up.
No. But then I also got to watch it at that age.
I don't think that's screwing up either.
But see, I never kind of shifted back down to kid-friendly media from that.
I mean, again, I don't see that as a problem.
I watched Star Trek and shit with my grandfather. I watched the old school Captain America and Spider-Man and Thor and Hulk. That they had on the Sci-Fi Channel. Quantum Leap was big for me.
Hey, Church, does this mean that if you are in serious need of a vehicle, that you in fact are going to get sick and then steal an old man's ride because you?
Oh no, I would not Ferris. I would never Ferris Bueller myself into a car.
What?
Okay.
Wait. So the trailer. So the trailer's been playing. Are none of the original actors in this?
Oh God, no.
God, I hope not.
God, no. Well, no. So, Rune, what's your connection to the Spy Kids franchise?
My connection to the Spy Kids franchise is that I did not watch Spy Kids because it looked awful. But
thanks.
I was of an age.
It was, but it was wonderfully awful.
But I was of an age and I was of a personality that because I watched cartoons and kid shit, I often was exposed to like advertising for Spy Kids. I knew there was a Spy Kids animated series. I didn't watch it. The only things of note that actually come to mind about Spy Kids were that Ricardo Montalban was in it in one of the movies because he's their grandfather. Yes. I want to say Danny Trejo's in one or more of them.
He's in all 3 of them, isn't he?
And
well, there's more than 3 of them, Ayrton.
And that
there is.
There are other stars who I would almost say are slumming it if they weren't clearly having fun.
So I just traced it back on the timeline when these movies and shows were prominent, 2001 to 2003 era. Yeah, that was the Stargate SG-1 era. That was back when I was on 4chan putting teal symbols on people.
Hell yeah.
Right. See, you were.
That was that era. That's what I was doing in that time.
You
Yeah,
were.
So that's why
2001. I was 10.
So, Robert Rodriguez
Yeah, I was
got
like
really
14.
drunk on the Shark Boy and Lava Girl aesthetic he came up with. So he made, Spy Kids 3D, go into the cyberverse, all sorts of nonsense like that.
Which that movie is batshit insane in the
Yes.
most wonderful way possible.
Yes. And this movie leans heavily into this. So Zachary Levi, aka the DCEU Shazam, who didn't deserve what was done to him by the DCEU car wreck, but there's nothing really he can do.
Really did not.
And
The Rock really shouldn't have been a prick and should have agreed to work with him.
Well, I mean, that would have helped the Rock's movie, but the Rock's movie was also trash.
Well, let's be 100% clear. As Larry and I were just discussing recently, it has come to light just how much of a piece of shit the Rock is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rock and a lot of backlash, et cetera.
Yeah. So, and then there's
give him the Roper.
And this the female actress who plays the mom has been in a whole lot of nonsense that nothing that really stands out, or things that she was in that would stand out to you. You wouldn't realize it was her. Like, she was the voice of Velma in Scoob. You remember Scoob?
Poor woman.
When we thought that was the low point for the Scooby-Doo franchise, we didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't.
Honestly, I'm just pissed they got none of the original actors for this.
So they had a MacGuffin piece of software that these two spies were entrusted with keeping secure in their home, not in a base, not in a secret remote access site, but in their home. A secret piece of computer software that could access any computer anywhere on the world.
I have some secret redacted stuff in my home that I keep secure.
We're not putting that in a safe deposit box.
No,
maybe buried
ground. If you die by misadventure, and we are told we will come.
We all know I'm gonna die by misadventure. Come on,
right? We will.
My money's on herpes.
We will do the right thing. We will come to your place of residence, be it a hole in the ground or your mobile home or both. Or an insane asylum, and we will collect your computer and we will dump it into a bathtub.
I didn't say it was on a computer. I said it's redacted.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
We will not view it. We will not look at your history. We will not merely wipe it so it can be reconstructed.
I'm telling you not to look for a computer. Look for something that's black and made out of metal.
Yeah, his gun.
Jesus Christ, Rick.
That he doesn't have.
Anyway,
I thought we were talking about your online porn. Okay.
Anyway, so they have.
I'll pull up my porn tabs right live on stream. I don't give a shit about
he doesn't
that.
give a shit about those.
So the A plot is an evil billionaire game company executive wants to steal the software from the spies, and he uses the fact that the spy's son is addicted to playing video games and playing games on his cell phone. And Zachary Levi, the dad, is really, really obsessed about screen time, and they have a whole room in their house where it's the only room that they can have access to their screens, and then they have to lock them in a box when it's not the appropriate time. It's a really weird whole section of the movie. Of course, the evil billionaire knows that the top secret super duper spies have the top secret super duper software he needs. So he gives the kids free access to his video game, which has a computer virus in it. Backdoors in.
Isn't this just the third one where they go into a computer game?
Well, no. I haven't gotten to the part where they go into the computer game, but yes, that's what's going to happen. And anyway, so he uses the computer virus to break into the uber duper secret spy computer section and steal the computer virus thing and take over all the computers in the world and require people to play video games to get access to the necessary functions they have on their computer. So, you want to go access your online banking? You got to do a boss fight. You want to get your Uber app? Well, you got to do a boss fight.
Man, if I was the villain, if you want your Uber access, you would have to do like one of those Wii exercise things and burn at least like 700 calories before you could order fast food.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, it's the classic. Parents have to learn that their kids have value and they're their own people, but we should trust kids and let kids make decisions. Blah blah blah. The kids also have to learn that their parents actually had good reasons for the rules, and they should have listened to their parents more. And then they come together as a family unit, and then they go into the video game to defeat the villain, so that they can save the world by freeing everybody's computers.
That's not how life works.
I'm
Where's the part where they bail the kid out of jail at 3:00 in the morning?
Well, the kids are too young. The kids are too young. The kids are too young for jail at this point in church.
What about juvie then?
I mean, you don't bail someone out of juvie at 3 a.m.
I mean, you could probably.
What? No.
And last but not least, I watched a show called Class Act. It was a French TV show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
All right, took care of that for everybody.
So it's a French TV show about basically the French allegory for Donald Trump. So he was a corrupt businessman who kept failing upwards. He eventually became a minister, ran for mayor of Marseille, was in parliament for a little bit of time. He owned major companies like Adidas and things, but because he was so crooked, he ended up having to sell those businesses to get out from under things. He said, I'm going to not, outsource jobs. I'm going to try to keep jobs here in the country. But when push came to shove, it's like, listen, man,
what jobs exist in France? Like a baguette maker, like a professional cheese master?
No, there were jobs at the time, but people like this guy had to move them into places like Singapore.
Yeah, because the French are worthless,
and because Singapore they love you long time, or so I hear.
So he stole a battery company.
The only good thing the French ever did was Daft Punk.
So he stole a battery company out from under a friend of his by having an Arab friend pretend to be the Emir of Dubai and say, listen, I want you to sell me the company so I could give the company to the Chinese so I could get leverage with the Chinese over the Americans. And the other guy said, well, listen, since you're honest with me, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really have the money to... I didn't really have the money.
Python sketch.
No. But he said, listen, since you're honest with me, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't really have the money to buy the company. I was actually making a deal with the former owners of the company who stole all the money out of the company. And we were going to trick the bank into giving us money to pay for it. And then we were going to relocate all the jobs to China anyway. And there was a whole thing where he wanted to have a toast and jam initiative for kids in the inner city so that they'd have snacks when they got home from school.
This is a real.
This is a real person. And the public events are all real. Those are events that happened. But some of the back and forth and the behind the scenes stuff were dramatized.
What do you think the American equivalent? What do you think the American equivalent to that toast and jam initiative would be? You think it'd be like pizza rolls or
midnight basketball?
Pockets?
No, it's midnight basketball. No, it's midnight basketball.
Taquitos or gas station hot dogs.
Oh no! What about those chicken and cheese rollies at the QT?
I mean, there's always nuggets.
Yeah.
But so this was a very good show, good actors, even though I was listening to the dubbed version because I didn't want to befoul my ears with the French language.
Good choice.
The actual acting by the actors was excellent, top tier. One of the high points was he won the European Cup, but he won the European Cup by bribing a performer on a team that he was probably going to beat anyway, but by tricking him into saying, "Hey, listen, if you throw the game, we'll guarantee you a spot on this other team, so you don't go down to the loser league." So I recommend watching it.
But it's French.
I mean, yes.
Ayrton,
I won't even eat spaghetti because of that.
Ayrton,
I mean,
sometimes
spaghetti's
you like
not
most
French; it's
things
Italian.
You don't like. It happens.
Yeah. So
It's okay.
so that's about an hour of content I provided.
Are you guys ready for my hour of content I have ready?
Well,
No.
Church has at least a half an hour of content he was teasing on the Twitter.
I did.
And
I got it.
Despite all his rage, he's still just a Nicolas Cage.
Yes, always and forever. But
I mean, it's really exciting, and Joe and I were both excited to get into this with Church because it was a good topic.
I didn't know Joe was excited about this. I knew you were there for it, Larry.
I'm there for it.
So,
we also should talk at some point about how I've contributed to the internet. I've made it a better place.
Let me vamp for just a second. I'll go ahead and find the Catalyst tweet here. And
do you have the tweet that you led somebody to make for a meme?
Yeah, I can get that. So
yeah, if you can get that.
Let me.
I was gonna pull one of my videos up while Church did that, but
no, this is better. This is better. Joe's is hilarious.
I don't know. I don't know if it's better. It's fun. It might be funnier, but
you will like it more.
So
I saw it.
Somebody deleted the tweet that I was responding to start all this off, but
what an a-hole, whoever that was.
Here is the original from Louder and Crowder. Okay. And I said that someone should put this to the Benny Hill theme because it's in England.
Hold on. Let me hold on. Let me get the original loaded. We'll watch part of it.
Yeah.
A sec.
The producer has a lot of work to do here.
I do.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
I saw this. This was good.
So this is the original.
Man's chasing a ticketing police officer
with a bat, right?
Yeah.
Club or a bat. Maybe just a big stick.
Where's the other one, Rune?
Below it.
Down. There.
I didn't want to load you up with too many links right away.
Oh, I mean you couldn't. All right, hold on.
But we need the
theme this. All right.
And somebody got Rune.
Yeah, in like 20 minutes.
I like how the cop's like hiding behind this bigger guy. This reverses.
Now, I believe Benny Hill has gone, but I think wherever he is, he's smiling down at this from heaven.
No, he's smiling
I like how he
at
gets
it.
behind he gets behind a black guy, like out of all people.
Well, I mean, it is a black guy who's chasing him.
Pull up your tweet.
He needs a bigger, blacker guy to block him.
Bigger, blacker guy. Fantastic. That's where.
No, that was a good palate cleanser right there.
So we discussed Jim
Rune,
Shooter.
that was brilliant.
Because JDA got Jim Shooter to friend him, which is pretty base for JDA.
So,
which is
basically there was a little bit of praise going.
Hold on. Sorry. I need to address the chat. Don't worry, Prime. I have some stuffy bunny loaded up. I have some other cooking / eating videos. Just let Church cook.
What the fuck is wrong with you degenerates?
Hey,
Thank you
he's
for
the one
following
that
the
showed
show
me
for
stuff.
something.
He's the one that showed me Stuffy Bunny. So all of that is his fault. I just
Yeah,
want
right.
to point that
Your
out.
fault, not your
That's Einbrecht, by the
responsibility.
way.
Not your responsibility. Your
No,
fault.
no, that's Einbrecht's co-host Prime.
Yes. Okay. Prime.
Look,
Okay.
you've done something wrong and and bad, and you should feel bad.
So, Jim Shooter was a big part of Marvel, and we got to talking about how he had some amazing contributions to Marvel while he was there. Some people think he could do no wrong. Blah 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 blah.
Also, his era of Valiant Comics was also pretty excellent.
That be what it may. I'd like everybody to take a step back and remember the new universe. Everybody remember that sack of shit?
I do. Well, let's just say that the new universe was things that were 3/4 baked and some things that were half baked, and then a bunch of stuff that nobody really remembers.
Yes,
I mean, that's the nice way of putting it. I just call it a big pile of horse in the grand scheme of things. It's no Rom Space Knight, goddammit. But Jim Shooter, pretty responsible for that. And it made me start to think about something. And the conversation basically got me on a track of thinking, well, this is what happens when you try to introduce new characters and get people attached to them. You either fail to promote them correctly, you either fail to put proper staff on them, or you fail to just execute the plan in a way that makes it viable.
We need to execute something.
Well, let's talk about first the talent he had. Mark Gruenwald was on DP7, which is one of the books that was actually decent for a good hunk of its run. And it's basically a more realistic version of the X-Men. We had Justice that was created by Archie Goodwin. We had Starbrand, which was made by Jim Shooter, which is the one that everybody remembers related to New Universe, but was, in my opinion, Starbrand was the most it was the most inconsistent of any of the books. And then there was weird stuff I didn't remember, like Kickers Inc. that was made by Tom DeFalco.
Or Archie
Kickers Inc. is so bad. Holy
it is.
shit. We reviewed that.
Archie Goodwin is responsible for a lot of the new universe stuff. I think
he
was on Spy Force and Night Mask.
He was on Justice. He was on Mark Hazard, Merc. He was on Night Mask. He was on Spy Force. Yeah, so he was on one of the other books that was well remembered, which was Justice.
But basically, the new universe was an attempt to introduce new characters. It also gave Marvel one of their first attempts at creating a Batman analog.
I mean, Justice wasn't really a Batman.
No, Night Mask was.
No, Night Mask had dream powers.
No, I know, but the whole, I don't know. I always saw Night Mask. And
he was a weird sort of shadow kind of character.
That's what I was saying. I always imagined Starbrand and Night Mask as Marvel's attempts on Superman and Batman without just doing Superman and Batman with a new name.
There's only so much dark urban vigilante you can do before there's crossover. I think we can all agree on that.
Sure. But the thing is they did get one success out of this, right? Starbrand, which actually
it's the one everybody remembers.
Well, it's the one that carried over to the mainline Marvel universe.
No, Justice carried over. Night Mask carried over.
The Starbrand also carried over.
Oh,
yes, but
wasn't Justice one of the new Warriors?
No, that's a different Justice.
Okay.
But no, I'm saying there were 3 characters that actually carried over into the mainstream universe. And the Star brand as a concept was too good of something to just be left on the shelf.
So, but that's what I'm saying. Like I think the Star brand to me is the biggest one that's remembered, right?
Absolutely.
Like we're not just talking about they got carried over or whatever, but we're talking hey, these guys were carried over. So you've got, let's say, what, 10 properties there?
About that.
And one was kind of a success, and the rest of them are at best, and oh god at worst. And I think that speaks to the reason
of the comics that ran the complete run of the new universe. DP7, Justice, and Cyforce were running through the complete new universe.
Right.
Starbrand didn't make it through the whole run of the imprint.
No. Very few of the books did.
Nightmask didn't. It was Justice, it was Cyforce, and it was DP7.
Right. But anyway, we've got a one-time attempt with Jim Shooter to create new characters and kind of give Marvel some new blood to play with, without it being some other license that they just borrowed. So what you have is you haven't seen that again. Like, you don't get batches of new characters like that anymore. And it kind of got me to thinking, is New Universe kind of like what happens when they attempt to do that, and the explanation? Because this is what happens. And I say here, it begs the question, is this what happens when you make new characters instead of altering existing IP? Because if you are a company like Marvel and DC, you look at your roster, and every few years you go, okay, it's time for another Superman adjacent. It's time for another Batman. Or you look at your roster with a new Batman adjacent character. If you're Marvel
to get the Venom symbiote.
I appreciate.
If you're Marvel, it's time for another Spider book.
I really appreciate that Larry makes a Joe sound when he is frustrated. Nice.
Like, no, I'm making the sound to express my emotions about those things that happen.
But you get recreations of existing IPs because people will latch onto those instead of getting completely new characters, like when you open an Image or an IDW.
Well, let me hit a pause button here. So the IP for New Universe wasn't any of the subsidiary characters. That's the problem with the New Universe. The New Universe was the IP. That was what was at the center of all the marketing.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right.
When you went to Image, the comics weren't the IP. It was Eric Larson. It was Rob Liefeld. It was the Beatles of young comic book artists. Todd McFarlane. All those guys were the Beatles of young comic book artists. They told Marvel, you know what? Screw you. We're going to go across the street to DC for a pay raise. You know what? Fuck it. Let's call a banker, get money to start our own comic book company with blackjack and hookers.
They called you?
No, unfortunately, they didn't call church. That would have been a better thing. So the IP was never that. IDW.
They said a banker.
Wow. I'm sorry, Larry. I didn't realize I was going to open a cookie jar and give Ayrton the ability to make constant Jew jokes.
So IDW never really had
this the whole time, Rune.
So IDW never had its own IP. IDW always got over writing other people's IP.
Really? I thought they had. I thought they had some stuff released that was like indie comics almost.
That never sold.
I don't know. Some of
it was always.
Some of it ends up on Critical List.
Yeah, but lots of things in Critical List don't sell, but critics like it. So the issue is that the IP was the New Universe when the IP needed to be Star brand. So, Ayrton, you being the representation of the normal comics books fans out there, do you remember Star brand?
No, the name sounds familiar.
So the comic started off about a working class loser in Pittsburgh getting a tattoo that gave him basically the powers of Superman and Green Lantern put together.
So you mean every single crackhead in Pittsburgh after they leave high school?
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And then they realized they didn't really have a good story with him. And then it turned out his baby.
You don't have a good story with that premise? Oh, imagine my shock.
But he did destroy Pittsburgh.
Infinite
Pittsburgh
power, man, isn't a good storytelling device.
Well, no. There was a good story in there, but they didn't mine it. They didn't refine it. But he did destroy Pittsburgh in the comic, which was kind of interesting. I like that.
Isn't that redundant?
No. Like he turned Pittsburgh into a giant crater.
Again, have made the statement by having him go on to destroy Chicago and most of LA.
Then his baby had
Portland as well.
Oh no, Portland.
Then his baby had the Star brand. Yeah. Portland, Oregon is Washington's buffer against Californians.
And failing currently.
Yeah. So then the baby had the Star brand. Then it turned out that the old alien and the baby and the guy from Pittsburgh were actually a trinity of the same person. And then they reunited to become basically like God, and then they stopped writing the book.
They became Link from Legend of Zelda, and he went off to save the princess from Ganon.
Dude, you just gave me bone cancer from that last bit of the description of the story.
Now, Rune, we're going to go back in
smoke
time.
A cigarette now.
Right.
It'll reverse the bone cancer.
We're going to go back in time, and we're going to say, listen, Jim, we're going to ghostwrite this book for you. All right? It's going to be great. Because we're from the future, and we're going to tell you how to write this book and not be like crazy on cocaine.
We're from the future, and you're a retard.
No. This book was clearly influenced by cocaine. Church, you can back me up on that.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I wrote this book. I know.
Church can back it because Church was there.
I'm secretly Jim Shooter.
But
secretly Jim Shooter on cocaine.
The fact that his last name is Shooter, shouldn't he be on heroin, not cocaine?
No. In fairness, Jim Shooter was like two. So here's the thing: Jim Shooter was 12 and like going to Marvel Comics and saying, "Hey, bro, you need to hire me."
Oh, okay.
And he did that.
Okay, got it.
And he did that like for like 4 years, and then they eventually gave him a job.
So he was on cocaine.
He was definitely on cocaine. So, Rune, you have 32 issues. What would you do with the Star brand concept?
All right, because I have not actually
besides
well, no, you don't hold up. You don't need to know what was actually written. You have the premise. Random blue collar guy in Pittsburgh gets a device that's kind of like Green Lantern's power ring, but it's a tattoo that gives him the powers of Superman and Green Lantern.
Okay. Now, I gotta be clear. I'm a little retarded. I gotta be clear. Are you asking me what is my philosophy in design? Or are you asking me what story do I tell with this?
I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah. Give me a brief synopsis of what you would do in 32 issues with this concept.
Write a different story.
Hold up. And also remember, by the way, a couple of years earlier, there was a little TV show you might have heard of called The Greatest American Hero that did this subject with a guy who wasn't a dirtbag from Pittsburgh.
Right.
I think you fried Rune's brain with this
one.
No,
I'm actually doing my job, Ayrton. It's scary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rune is thinking of the dynamics of this.
You take the 32 issues, you cut them into 2 halves. So it's 2 arcs interconnected that the first half is the rising action, the second half is the falling action between your events. The first half is going to be essentially your Superman arc, where Superman is establishing himself meets his Lex Luthor, fights some villains, very normal stuff. Your second half is going to be your Green Lantern, where he discovers there's a wider galaxy and a wider significance to what he's doing, and some people are not so happy with the superhero thing. You then have two equal but opposite B plots, both interpersonal on the ground level. The B plot at the base in the first half is I have all this power and I could hurt someone, and you show the support network, the people that are proud of what he's done. Then, when you do the second half, you have the B plot where as he moves more to a cosmic level, dealing with more space threats, and must therefore intrinsically move away from his support network, people who question his wherewithal, question his choices. Is he doing the right thing? And in the end, he will prove that he is actually a good guy. He is doing the right thing, that he has learned from the struggles of the first half to become the man he had to be in the second half, who will suffer even greater threat to protect his world, his family, his friends, and by extension, the galaxy in total. That's what I do with that story.
Okay, now Church, compare what Joe said to what Jim Shooter and Cocaine created.
Well, you take everything Rune said, and you flip through it and you go, man, this is pretty fucking good. I like this. And then you throw it in the fucking garbage. Then you pull your pants down and you open the blank comic book up. You take a big old shit in it. And then you close the comic book and you turn it into your editor, who happens to be you, and then you put the book on the goddamn shelf.
I don't know. It sounds like I'd have 32 issues of toilet paper if it was Jim Shooter.
That is a good metaphorical description of Jim Shooter's creation. Like, for example, I remember there was a 3-issue subplot about his girlfriend being mind controlled by the old hobo alien, who we later found out was himself, that traveled back in time to be an old hobo guy with powers.
So I can sue him for life rights?
Yes.
I mean, he could be your dad who left for smokes.
Now, before you get too far into this, I actually would take what Joe said, though, and I would alter it very slightly as the quote unquote editor of the story to really flesh out those 32 issues. First off, every superhero's got to have a weakness, right? You can't just have an invulnerable superhero, but this guy has basically infinite power. So how do you do that? You basically work in an allegory to impotence. Like, his powers cut in and out when he's not like confident in himself and shit like that, right?
Well, the weakness in the original book was he was a high school dropout.
Well, sure,
and
you can have that in there
smart.
too, and that can lead to it. But what basically the way you incur that is you work it into the A plot where we're talking about, where he has to kind of discover who he is and the limitations and the depths of his powers. And you can also work in a subplot where he is very limited in the first 6 to 8 issues of what he's doing, but you know, maybe in the last panel of the 5th or 6th issue, you've got him like imagining something in a dream and it's actually happening in real life.
Or we just give him AIDS, and when his AIDS flare up, his powers don't work.
Here's the thing. Because I think this is very interesting. And if any comic people are actually watching, take fucking notes. As a creator and as someone who consumes media, going all the way back to Alan Moore after Treebeard did it, I actually hate the idea of super narratives equating impotence narratives. I just don't like it. However, there's this process called editorial, where you and the editor go back and forth on the material until you find a way that makes it work. So when you say, I want to do impotence, and I say, I don't like impotence, can we do it a different way, or can we make it more abstract so it's not so obvious? You and I would
You don't want it to
debate
be on the nose.
Right. You and
I
I
want it to
would
be as
have it.
abstract as possible.
Right. You and I would have it back and forth. So now it's not that he's impotent. It's the fear of impotence. So there he is. He's talking to his girlfriend, and he's like, "I don't know if I can do this." She's like, "What do you mean?"
Oh no,
You're
no,
so
I'm not
amazing.
talking
You're so
about. I'm
great."
not talking about actual like inability, but I'm talking about like he doesn't know the full scale of what he's capable of, and he doesn't know if he's up for the task, kind of thing.
So when he's talking to his girlfriend, and he's like, "I'm really afraid," and she's like, "Why? You're so great. You're so awesome. Everybody loves you." He's like, "Yeah, but what if I try and I fail? And
what if I hurt someone?
What if I'm wrong?"
Now here's the fun part about this. This is how he turned Pittsburgh into a crater.
Yeah.
Right.
Voting Democrats for 60 years.
I mean, he just lost it and blew up Pittsburgh and left a giant 50-mile wide crater.
It's a supernatural. It's a superhero based disaster called the Democroclops.
So now we've talked about what you have to do when you're designing the IP of Starbrand to make it.
Sorry, hold on, Larry. Rune,
sure.
Can we make a political satire comic book based on an anarchist being the superhero and the villain is the Democroclops?
I mean, if you're gonna pay me, sure.
But we'll go in 50-50. We'll just split the profits. I don't have money.
No, sure, I'm fine. I'm just saying, like, as long as I actually get paid for my work, I don't give a shit. I have no bones to pick in that.
So now we're gonna go up a level from this thing. So we have this story about working class bum, didn't make it through high school, worked a sling of dead end jobs, is basically Superman. He's not good with his powers, because of fear, self doubt, low self esteem. Him being kind of dumb and not realizing, you have the power to blow up a planet like Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z.
His dad's still out trying to get a carton of Newports.
Well, no, he lives in his dad's garage. That's how he starts.
Okay.
So
no, it turns out his dad is actually Mr. Medicare, and he went out for milk and he came back for one stream.
Oh God, Larry's gonna die.
So now, Church, because you work in merchandising. How do we take this character and sell it to people?
Sell a flamethrower with the first issue.
No. We're taking Church's idea about IP and we're expanding upon it.
Right. So the first thing you do is you put an ad for a T-shirt in the comic book like they used to in the 90s when these came out.
And the Starbrand logo looked pretty fucking sick.
It did. But you also take it beyond just having the logo in the center of the chest. You start experimenting like those mid and late 90s T-shirts, and you have like a big side print of the Starbrand logo.
Yeah.
You had it printed tonally on different colors and clear gel. Shit like that. And those are the shirts you sell, like a red shirt with a black star across the shoulder or some shit. Oh man, that shit would be fire. So second thing, it looks really good on a hat, but you don't just put it in the center of the hat. You put it offset on one panel of the hat. So it looks really cool when you're wearing it backwards riding your skateboard, as many 90s kids did.
As was the style of our people at the time. So now what you're saying is if we do everything right with the comic book in the first year, we make a ton of money off of this merch.
Yes,
then,
because the Star brand is the selling point. It's kind of like Spider-Man was in Marvel Comics. You come for the Star brand, and then you stay for the DP7.
Correct, but also like the S for Superman, S for Superman became a big merchandising thing. The skull for the Punisher became, and so on.
That and star is perfect.
Now, once all the kids,
that star.
Can I throw one out there? It's not
go ahead,
because it's not one that you usually think of. You sell the right for and reasonably inexpensively. You sell the rights for tattoo parlors, tattoo shops to tattoo your thing. Actually carry it in their window.
To make it flash.
Yeah, the way that tattoo parlors usually work, because they're stewarded. They're actually like structured. You've got apprentices and shit.
Also, they don't need a license to use your image, by the way.
I mean, they
can't sue a
don't,
tattoo
but they
parlor.
can't. But they can't put it in the window either.
But
That's
you
the
know,
thing.
but you can have like
Yeah,
you sell licenses to companies that do books and tattoo
Right,
images.
because the thing is that the way it works is like I can walk into a tattoo shop with a photo of the Superman shield and say, "Give me that," and they'll do it, right? But they can't put it in their portfolio of pictures they do, or they can't put it in the window.
Well, they can't
as an
as a
advertisement.
tattoo person, Rune. They can't do
Yeah.
that anyway because flash art is your art. Your flash has to be yours.
Right. But that's the thing is I'm saying let's say, look, man, put this in your
No,
window.
no, 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 no. I mean, it has to be your art.
Sure.
Like you had to draw it. You
Right.
can't use someone like symbols like this. Don't make it in flash books.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
let
it
me
wouldn't be in the book, but I'm still saying get it in the window. Get people thinking about it as they go and buy the tattoo part.
So that
No,
is sick.
you're missing the point. See, the marketing solution is because you want 12 and 14-year-old boys reading this comic book is the removable temporary tattoo.
I mean,
that's your marketing with tattoo.
Right.
Also,
so once you do all of this stuff, then once the second cycle of the 32 issues comes out, then you say, hey, can we get this character in a cartoon? Can we get this character in a movie? Can we get this character in a TV show?
No. The second move is toys.
Well, yeah.
Because then if you get toys, you have a much bigger incentive for somebody to pick it up for a cartoon. It's the 90s. That's how it works.
Correct.
Important.
I mean, Marvel was in fact bought by a toy company at the time.
Yeah, the Secret Wars was put in the animated TV show for Spider-Man like 4 years after it happened, after all the toys came out.
Yeah.
A very important follow-through for that. The toys have to be good. All right?
No, they don't. It's the 90s.
No, they do.
No, they do.
They have to be good for the 90s standard.
Many good animated series that were
everything was better in the 90s than it is now.
No, seriously, I'm not fucking around here. Many good animated series that were basically big toy commercials failed because their toys were shit. SWAT Cats, Pirates of Dark Water, etc.
Yeah.
What's weird?
Street Sharks.
Right. The weird exception, oddly enough,
Gargoyles.
Is Gargoyles had okay toys, but you're still in the same.
No, the Gargoyles were trash because they were too big. They didn't interact with any of your other action
That's
figures.
true.
Way later in the toy
the
line,
weird exception.
Was already in peril.
The weird exception is the Cartoon Skeleton Warriors. That one failed because parents didn't like the toys because they didn't want their kids having Skelly-Mans, which is terrible parenting.
Yeah.
It's a lot different now, but yeah, in the 90s, you had the Satanic Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. You pump out the toys, you get a TV show, you get a cartoon, and then you have an IP that's going to just keep printing you out money. Because people go to the comic book shop and say, hey, that shirt gives me member berries.
Remember this?
I remember.
And here's the thing: the comic book itself then becomes the lost leader. It becomes the property that allows you to keep selling merchandise.
And the profit
you take
from
a loss on
merchandise
that comic book all day, every day, and let people who are fans of it keep buying it, just so you keep cranking out merchandise to people that don't even read the books anymore.
Yes. Now, this isn't even getting into the business model of where the comic book companies are today. So let's say we somehow come into Marvel with enough cocaine, charm, and money to let them have us have an imprint.
Well, I got the charm. Quick. Church has the cocaine. None of us have money, so we're kind of screwed.
Well, with the cocaine, I can get the money. But anyway, we've skipped
in
Minecraft,
ladies and gentlemen. In Minecraft.
What I'm doing is
later the model is completely different.
That was actually what I was transitioning to.
Okay, I just wanted to point that out for the layman in the audience.
Yeah, that's what was transitioning us over to. Yeah. So the model today is number one. You have to get people to care about your brand new IP, which is where all the attempts to create brand new IP have failed. fallen on the ground, stumbled.
I wouldn't say. I'd say you have two avenues. That's the first avenue, but the second one is you create the IP to basically act as your pitch.
Well,
And that's what a lot of people
That's
today
also
are using.
that's also
comic
failed.
IPs for.
That's also failed because nobody's going to care about your pitch about a slice of life comic about a bunch of lesbian superheroes if they don't care about your lesbian superheroes.
Well, no, that's not true. I Kill Giants got a movie. Why the Last Man? I think got a TV show.
It got
fucking Walking Dead.
Except they
Jesus
did not
Christ.
follow the.
Well, hold up. We cared about
Last Man at all.
Yeah, well, first of all, we cared about the character in The Walking Dead. They killed giants. Nobody cared about that. That failed. Why the Last Man failed?
Critically, yes, they both failed, but they were critically acclaimed books that got
right. You know, critics are just another tool for advertising. But let me get back. Let me get back to again this alternate reality where we have enough money and cocaine. So again, you have to get your audience invested in the characters.
The cocaineverse, if you will.
The cocaineverse, yes. Then you have to get the merchandising set up.
Oh wait, we have the license to Snowflame now?
Exactly. So once you go emotionally get people invested in the characters, which is going to be subsidized by other products of the company, again, cocaine related. Then we get the merchandising. Once we get the merchandising in, we're in it to win it, boys. It's quick, it's easy. Because once we get the merchandising in, the merchandising makes more than the comics are ever going to make, ever will make.
Right. That's why the comics always become the lost leader.
Then, they're not lost leaders anymore. Because an entire trade run of a comic book is what the parent company of Marvel and the parent company of DC will pay for a single spec script for a TV show or a movie. So they're not losing any money. They're saying like, okay, we're going to pay for a spec script for something we might develop later. And then you get people in the audience to buy those things. So they're making a profit.
And tell you whether or not they want to see it, basically.
Well, there's that, which also saves the company money. But you're still making a profit because the spec script you were going to be paying for anyway, people are paying to buy copies of it. And that in turn sells your merchandising. Your merchandising. And then once you have something that has enough critical mass, enough member berries.
That is the Jewiest you have ever sounded in my entire history of knowing you.
I'm mimicking Mel Brooks, so I take that as a high compliment. I was mimicking Mel Brooks as Yogurt from Spaceballs.
You gotta get maximum Brooks.
So once you get to that point, then you make your TV series on your streaming. You do your movie, and then you just print that money up. Now, once you get to that point, you need something to be relatively safe. You need to have a 60 to 75% status quo with a 25 to 40%, changeable range of things that happens. And you can shift around what's changeable. You can replace things in the status quo, but that's what you do. You basically autopilot on that stuff, and then you make your money off your Spider-Mans, off your X-Men's when you're running them like this, and then you use that in turn to get spin-offs launched, get people giving a damn about Miss Marvel. And then in turn, you make Miss Marvel into a profit engine.
We're also talking. Well, hold on. We're talking two different philosophies here too, because you're running Marvel as it is.
I'm explaining
the scenario. Well, hold on. Before the scenario was just how do we make this one character work? I mean, we could have gone this route in the 90s, and they did, but they did through more subtle ways because there was a lot less money going into these characters back then because they weren't owned by fucking Disney.
Well, actually, DC's been owned by Warner for a while, and Warner's been a big company.
Warner's never had a lot of money. Don't bullshit me. Warner's always been living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. But the reason I started with Star Brand is with a single character.
New episodes of the Animaniacs, it was fucking over for Warner. Don't bullshit me.
So the reason I started with Starbrand is the whole topic is making new IP, and I'm demonstrating here how you have to have today a holistic plan for making new IP.
Well, there's no making new IP anymore. Like I don't think it's feasible. I think the industry is so creatively bankrupt that new IPs exist in the indies, but they're never going to exist in the big two.
There's a very key piece of language there that was not in your original commentary. Okay, that I think is very, very important here. The industry is creatively bankrupt.
They lack leadership.
The industry as it exists is creatively bankrupt. That is true.
I feel like it was just implied by my statement. But okay.
Well, no, it needs to clearly be stated because the industry has not always been creatively bankrupt, nor does it necessarily have to stay there. But I will grant you at this time in this place, yeah, making new characters is bad because the thing that inspired the interesting conversation.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said they were incapable of doing it.
Right, but the thing that inspired the interesting conversation Larry and I had was the question of should you even try to make new characters ever? And it's like, yeah, if you're in an environment where you actually have creativity and you have a free exchange of ideas and a marketplace of ideas, yeah, no, new characters could work. But you're correct. You're correct. If you're talking about a drought where there's a barrenness of concept, then no, don't even try. Don't do it. Stop.
The management of the major media entities are all entirely driven by manage decline, manage their portfolio. None of them are growth-centric leadership. And they use 10, 20, 30 years out from when they had growth-centric leadership. It's 10 years since Netflix had growth-centric leadership. It's 20 years since Disney. Well, actually, it's 20 years since Disney had growth-centric leadership. It's 30-plus years since Marvel and DC had growth-centric leadership. It's 30-plus years since Warner's had growth-centric leadership.
Well, a follow-through
since we were kids.
A follow-through on that concept that I feel needs to be mentioned is Disney still thinks it has growth-centric leadership.
No, it does not.
No, it does.
No, it doesn't. Bob Iger's core philosophy is to not do that.
Let me finish a sentence.
Okay.
There's a confusion in Disney that acquisition is growth. Acquisition is not growth. Growth is growth. Acquisition is something else.
No. Bob Iger agrees with you that acquisition isn't growth.
he's not in the entertainment business. He's in the empire business, right?
Yes. Right. Yes. So Disney has, since Bob Iger's been CEO the first time, has abandoned growing the brand. It's all about buying things and leveraging our size.
Yeah.
So the people who knew how to grow things, and it's funny that we started talking about how Jim Shooter screwed it up with New Universe, but Jim Shooter knew how to grow the existing Marvel brand. He knew how to manage and make that expand, albeit at the consequence of everybody who worked for him hating his absolute living guts. But the people who knew that are
die a
decades,
hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yes. So all the people who had that institutional knowledge of how to grow and develop and nurture characters are gone from these companies. They're gone from any related kind of companies. Like, there's nobody in the book business who's all about growing book brands. Those people don't exist. There aren't people who are about growing movie and TV brands. Those people don't exist. Well, when something new pops up, it's like a fluke. Everybody doesn't really know what to do because that knowledge is gone.
Larry, who's currently in charge of Marvel Comics?
Technically, it's Kevin Feige.
Okay,
but CB Cebulski answers to Kevin Feige.
Okay, so let's just call CB Cebulski the guy.
Yeah.
You're never going to hear stories about him and his Marvel like you did with Stan Lee and Jack.
We have very different stories. We hear stories about all the really good food he brings into the office.
Yeah. The really cool shit that happened under Stan and Jack, as much tribulation and turmoil they went through, they were what Larry was talking about earlier, interested in growing the brand and expanding as a comic book company. And it's never going to exist again in those big two companies. That's why I don't think you'll ever see any like meaningful new characters out of them.
And the thing is, they have the starting points of meaningful characters, but they don't have a plan to make them meaningful. Like Jaime Reyes as a character, I think he's neat. I think there is something there, but much like Kamala Khan, they're unwilling to dig into that character and do anything interesting. Well, they're unwilling to make a meaningful connection to people.
They're also unwilling to give these characters their own identity. What Jaime Reyes is not Ted Kord's Blue Beetle. So why does it need the same name?
Well, it's because it's safer that way. Remember Aztec? You remember Aztec?
No.
You remember how Aztec didn't work well? You remember how Grant Morrison brought Aztec onto his Justice League team because he and DC management believed in the Aztec character so much?
I love how, as you say that, Church says,
"Oh God, I do."
That character with sort of like childlike wonder coming to the forefront.
Yeah. You remember how Grant Morrison?
Bad.
Yeah. You remember how Grant Morrison wanted to use Hawkman and they told him no, and so he said, "Fine, we're just going to take an angel."
Hawkman ever. Anytime anyone uses Hawkman, it's wrong and bad, and
we're going to write a Hawkman comic.
Sure.
Well, it can't be worse than what they're doing right now.
Around this time, Dillard, or are you just going to sit there and complain? Because last time you were here for 5 minutes.
And you're not begging for a link. I see no DMs from you on Twitter.
Yeah. We can get you a link, Dillard. But anyway,
and then he can watch the cringe I have lined up.
Heck yeah! But that's the thing. So why was Jaime Reyes the new Blue Beetle? Because the Beetle's Egyptian. Should be an Egyptian guy being the new Blue Beetle. But if you do that, then it's too much like Hawkman, and we can't do that. Well, then maybe you should make your young Hispanic superhero character somebody else. Well, we don't have a safe IP we could, skin and put on a young Hispanic kid like a skin suit. Well, then maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe it's a bad idea because you have no idea how to execute it successfully. Whereas Kamala Khan... Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to try and segue because I thought you were done, but continue.
So like Kamala Khan, it's very easy to make a good Kamala Khan character that people would give a damn about. But to do that, you would have to get spicy about Muslims.
Here I am. Say hi to me.
Hey, Dillard. By the way, Dillard, what do you think of my being a VTuber now?
I got conflicting feelings about it. It looks like a lady.
His penis.
It is a lady.
Feelings about it.
It is a lady VTuber because that's the VTubing that makes money.
How's the money going so far?
I haven't gotten to the point of getting these guys any money, but I'm hustling for it.
Okay. Why does she look so? Can I say?
Larry, I find this deeply concerning because if you're a woman that's hustling to get us money, I feel like Ayrton's going to start wearing a hat and slapping you.
I am wearing a hat, as a matter of fact.
Look, blink twice if you don't feel safe, okay?
But he can't blink.
Like your character looks very studious, but not like in a good way.
What do you mean, not like a good way?
Like she's like the like she's a smart girl, but she's like very angry at the world. Smart girl.
I mean, are you just attributing my character traits to this character?
No, I mean look at the severity of the angle of the eyebrows.
I think Dillard's like projecting what he wants your character to be.
In secret, I'm actually a very angry smart girl. That's what he's.
Oh, I was gonna say in secret, Dillard wants a Dom mommy librarian to kick him in the balls.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's everything in the world wrong with that. What are you talking about?
But
yeah, there's a lot of things wrong with that, Larry.
I got a friends and family rate for this, and a guy did it for me for hundo.
That's great.
He designed the character, set up all the animations, all that good stuff.
Well, since Dillard's here, let me segue into. I have 3 things that you guys can choose from one of. We can either watch a recipe for beef, a recipe for homemade ice cream, or a retarded fat British chick drinking 6 liters of Coke and Mentos.
You know what the answer is?
Oh yeah, I want to see a big fat lady get her pumping.
Ayrton, you know what the answer is?
Huh?
I'm back in Dillard.
I was chosen to lead, not to read. Number 3.
So you guys all want the British chick. You're not going with anything else. You guys are watching the other things I have.
No, I'm just making a joke. I know I'm going to be to it no matter what.
And now let me clear something up. When you told me I was on for 5 minutes, I did. I had a thing I had to go, but I came on the following week and I was on for a whole hour. And you're still talking.
He was.
What the fuck is your problem, RuneKnight?
Was I not there? I thought I was there.
Wait, were you on here for an hour, or were you over on Ein Prime show for an hour?
I think you were.
I was here. I just wasn't saying much.
I mean, that was the thing.
I remember.
So let's see the fun.
I'm the one who really loves
British. British
fat British lady first. Let's load the fat British lady up first.
Beef. Okay.
No, fat British lady, then the beef, then the eggs. Do it.
Okay, I guess.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a head on a cage.
Let's see here. Dear viewers, I am too galaxy brain to operate a Blue Yeti microphone. Only this middle part has sound. The full video will be on my Patreon. There's no sound for lots of this video. I'm really sorry.
That's a strong opening.
Which is why I'm also wearing these headphones so I can hear the audio.
That didn't work either. Lovely.
Look
at how fucking fat her fingers are. Her nails look like little tiny dots in the middle of an ocean.
I mean, Ayrton, have you checked out this chick's content?
Yeah, this is the chick I showed you guys last week.
Yeah, she regularly eats like 10,000 calories worth of stuff for video content.
Oh, I know.
She finally made it big.
Look,
yeah, she did. Yeah, she did.
Hold on. Now I have to play the clip.
I think she secretly hates her asshole. Is the secret?
So, I think it's.
I mean, she can solve that pain with the thousands of dollars she makes.
Now wait a minute. I thought it was Diet Coke that does it better, isn't it?
Diet Coke does do it better, but she's fat British. She doesn't know any better.
Yeah, she's British, so
she can't see. Look at those fucking cheeks. Oh
my God. That was a belch. Can't hear her talk, but you can hear her burp.
Oh, that's because I turned the volume down a little bit because the music was annoying.
So, how many Mentos did she eat? 3?
Yeah, I think it was like 3.
Yeah, something like that.
But you better turn into a helium balloon and float off.
Dude, that's some Willy Wonka shit.
That's the next sequel to Spy Kids.
Hold on, can we show snuff films on YouTube? Because I feel like she's slowly killing herself.
I feel like she's like a Dusty Rhodes
Look at
style, like
Reed.
hemorrhage on her rib area.
Look, they allow Amberlynn Reed and whatever that skinny girl's name is on this platform.
That's true.
This chick's like lightweight on this.
And you see on the look on her face of, I regret all of these decisions.
Oh, is she about to
Same
play
look
with
her dad
stomach?
has.
Now my stomach's so upset. I better wash it down with some soda.
Now,
She drank. Hold on. She drank that soda for like 45 seconds and like barely took the top like corner off of it. Like, what the
Have you ever
fuck?
tried to
Like,
drink a brand new Coca-Cola, like just
Larry.
uncapped? That's
like I've heard of spitting and swallowing, but this is ridiculous. Like, come on.
You're
Larry,
welcome. You're welcome,
try,
Larry.
try not to die. The real question is, if we put this at like a really low speed, how slow does it have to be for us to see her parents' disappointment in her eyes?
I mean, I'll put it
Also,
to 0.25.
Also, if you notice, we can see her her bra underneath her shirt.
Don't do that, Ayrton. It's already too torturous. Leave it at full speed.
Is this gonna be like
All
what
right, I'll do
happens to those
1.75.
pigeons when they eat the rice from the wedding?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, no.
She's
She is still alive.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Hold on. Her stomach and tits look like Homer Simpson right there. You're wrong.
No.
Like look at that. Look.
Oh.
Nuts.
Look, I appreciate the name of tonight's episode is Ghost Busted because I think Larry's gonna die tonight.
Well, I thought we were okay. I named it that because I thought we were going to talk about Leslie Jones, but I mean, we
unfortunately we didn't have time for that.
Dude, she was just tapping her heart. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Like she's having a heart attack live on this video.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Got to keep drinking the cola.
Imagine if they put
anybody
the
else would have been like, "I'm not doing this shit."
It's really annoying. I'm trying to drink my drink.
I have to burp after eating Mentos and drinking a bunch of Coke, and it's really annoying.
I mean, to be fair, I got a burp after I just drink Coke by itself.
Now, here's the thing. You know, Russell Brand allegedly, like a decade and a half ago, banging some 16-year-olds is worse than this somehow. Both of those things are legal. But one of these things is clearly worse for our collective humanity.
Is this legal in the UK though? Because I feel like watching this video is a
It is.
crime.
It is. It is legal.
Well, if you got hate in your heart.
In fact, if you try to tell them it's not okay, they can arrest you.
Exactly.
She reminds me of my lesbian grandma.
Oh, I think that was a. What was that? It was an Easter egg based on that thing that happened with the Australian police, right?
Yeah.
No, it was British police.
Was
it
was British police. It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I caught that reference. I'm not out of it.
Did you guys watch did you guys watch that black transgender woman doing the Comet challenge where you just pour a bunch of Comet cleaner into your mouth?
Oh, I did see that. I did see the Comet challenge.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Meanwhile,
Comet challenge.
Meanwhile, Ayrton is going to look for that right now.
No, just send it to me, Diller, because I have other shit pulled up to play. Oh, she almost threw her up.
I don't like have it saved on my computer or anything.
I think I got it.
Yes, you do. Send it to me.
No, it's on this. It's on this Twitter account that I follow called Blacks Posting L's.
Hold up, is it? Does she have like on pool glasses?
Yes, she's wearing glasses because it's apparently she's smart enough to know you don't get it in your eyes.
Here we go. I think I found it.
Well, yeah,
and also this video, if I'm correct, is fully monetized by YouTube, unlike us.
So does this big fatso die or what's going on?
She's having indigestion.
She posted this video like 5 days ago.
Yeah, she's having severe indigestion because she's a moron. Let's pull up the comment challenge.
I was expecting her to be like throwing up out of her nose and everything.
I am in fact disappointed, Larry, that is monetized and we are not. When clearly we have more meaningful story content and like we should be monetized.
I think that's the problem.
I see her. I feel like I'm getting used to her. Now. I feel like I want to suck on them tits.
Rune, the solution to our monetization.
So hold up.
Drinking a bunch of Coke and Mentos.
Hold up. And just to confirm, this is the one you're referring to, Dillard. Was this the one? Yep.
That's the one.
It's only a minute.
All right, I'm playing.
Now, I came up with something new. We're gonna do the comment challenge and things of that nature. Your comment has to be closed, so don't cheat, bitch.
Read it. Read it, you stupid bitch.
All the way closed.
Read the label.
See,
she did. It's 48% more.
Put the goggles on. They say don't get none in your eyes and shit like that. And I always have
don't
to
get in
listen
your
to
eyes.
You don't try to comment challenge. See what's gonna happen.
No! No, you stupid bitch!
I don't think this is what the Heaven's Gate cult meant by going into the comment when you die.
No. The Heaven's Gate cult was right. We all should have committed suicide and gone into hell, but I don't want to live on this fucked up earth anymore. Drinking Listerine. Yeah. Drinking alcohol with the fucking bleach. You stupid
Hey, breathe. George Floyd ass got something.
I hope it's fucking acid. What the fuck? Darwin, you didn't even conceive of a reality where people would be so fucking prolific that we would outstrip nature's ability to purr.
You know, RuneKnight, I'm getting a little tired of you pretending that you care about these people.
No, when I was 15, I was a janitor.
He doesn't.
All right.
He doesn't
I
care
had
about
to
these
work with
people.
cleaning chemicals all the fucking time. Don't put
just
that
hates
shit in
them.
your face.
He hates them so much.
No.
I remember I was coming in one night. We had a bottle of this cleaner. It's like a pine sol called Fabuloso. It's like a version of a pine sol, and it looks just like a water bottle. I came in one night. I was like drunk and tired, and I was like, "Oh, look, some water." I uncapped it and just chugged a whole mouthful of Fabuloso. I was fucking dying, dude, for like 45 minutes. I was out there with the water hose.
Check out this recipe for homemade ice cream.
Oh yeah, this is good. Perfect start.
Eggs.
Some eggs. Yep. Homemade salmonella.
There's no salmon in this. What are you talking about? It's fine.
No.
There you go, Rune.
How is this ice cream again?
It's cold.
Because it's cold and there's cream in it.
Yeah.
That's not ice cream.
Were you not paying attention to the video?
That's not fucking ice cream. That's a frozen fucking omelet. That's not ice cream.
Let's get that beef.
Use a frying pan and get X squares.
You know, I don't have a lot of pride. I'm gonna go ahead and admit that I don't know how to make ice cream. Is this not how you make ice cream?
That's not how you make ice cream.
Like I would assume that at some point there should be some like
sugar, cream, vanilla extract.
Well, I mean, it's clearly.
Why is there an octopus in that fucking cow's thing?
That's not octopi. They're snakes.
Yeah, they're snakes.
Why?
I'm really upset with myself that I've seen most of these.
Why?
Because you're making a broth, and you want to get the snake and the cow.
Don't be racist, Rune. This is their culture. you need those garnishes in there to make sure you pull out the flavors properly.
Yeah. Exactly. Much like how they use soap and water to clean the cow's head before they boil it.
There was a whole boar's head in the freezer at the store I used to go to every so
Now,
often.
guys, how do you feel about pineapple on your cow's head? Yes or no?
No,
No,
pineapple on the cow's
when I
head.
eat the cow's head, I like it to be very savory.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
pineapple ruins it.
I'm not saying that. No,
anti-pineapple.
I actually do. I occasionally I will buy a goat head or a cow head.
So one of
But I'm
my
Mexican, so you know.
one of my
Yeah,
earliest
right.
memories of encountering Mexicans in the wild is as a little kid. I was invited to a Mexican wedding, and they had a stuffed goat that they prepared as the centerpiece of the meal.
Oh yeah,
Like they stuffed a whole goat and they cooked the whole goat.
yeah. They stuffed it with what? Chicken?
I don't remember everything they stuffed it with, but there was all sorts of stuff, and I just thought that was neat.
I've seen
Yeah.
I've seen a goat stuffed with chicken, and the chickens were stuffed with eggs. That was interesting.
Come on,
Yeah.
Rude. Doesn't that look delicious?
No.
Look,
You don't want to eat
has
cow
built-in-
face?
It has built-in handles. It's better than corn on the cob.
This guy's gonna eat it all by himself. This guy's fucking selfish.
No, man.
Look,
You
look,
gotta
if
save the
you gotta
leftovers
dip
for
the ear-
tacos
No, because some of
tomorrow.
that face meat is actually very good.
yeah. But I mean, Dillard, if any of his 25 brothers and sisters, want some, they should have came when he was cooking.
That's
They
true.
could smell it.
Yeah, I read the Little Red Hen storybook. Who's gonna help me plant the corn? Fuck these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
But I
get
mean, also,
corn,
he was cooking outside, so everybody in that neighborhood knew he had food.
Oh,
Did we
yeah.
kill Rune? I think we killed Rune.
You did not kill Rune. Rune is just repulsed with humanity
Hey,
right
Dillard,
now.
let's get Rune a cow's head to send to him.
Okay.
No, don't waste food because I'm not going to use that.
Hey, you white people eat the grossest shit, and you won't
What
eat
if
a
we
cow's
cook
head?
it?
I am not
Hey.
going to eat a cow's head. It's not going to happen.
Hey,
Not even under a bet. Not for
Well-
the show. Possibly for money, but you guys ain't going to give me money.
I mean, you guys
Now-
eat hamburgers, and that's like 10% horse.
I mean,
And-
Horse
and
is
newsprint,
delicious.
but I ain't eating no
I mean-
cow's head.
if your country, you've eaten a lot of stuff that other people wouldn't, like brains. Brains is good,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
tail.
I like heart.
Yeah, heart's good, tail's good.
Yeah, heart's too chewy. No, like when you
No,
go,
it's
when
not.
you go
Heart,
get tacos,
heart is super
you get,
tender.
you get like
Well, no.
say, let me get 5.
It depends on how you cook
asada.
it.
Let me get 5 asada, 4 chicken, and 4 cabeza, which is just face meat.
Do you eat cow tongue?
Oh yeah, I don't like it.
I've
but
eaten, I've eaten tongue. I didn't particularly care for it.
Yeah, some people.
Only time I've
That'll
eaten-
be the
I
entire
had some that
meal.
was
I
seasoned
haven't-
Yeah, it's
particularly
called
well.
lengua tacos. Yeah.
Yeah, I had some that was seasoned particularly well in tacos once. That was pretty good.
When it comes to brains, the only time I've eaten brains and
Yeah, I haven't
been
done
okay with
tongue.
it was like in
I'm
scrambled
interested to
eggs.
Try it.
Yeah, go get
Tongue
some
is
lingua
better
tacos.
than brains.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tongue is better than
100%.
brains.
Less salty.
But the thing is this: when I get tacos, it's rare. Right? It's a treat when I go out to eat. I don't go out to eat every day like some people. Like when I go out to eat, it's like I want to get what I want, and it's almost like tamales. Like I'm sure there's a lot of tamales that taste great, but I'm getting pork. I want pork tamales. They're the best.
Where the
I don't
fuck-
want to waste my tamale outing on some inferior tamale.
I wish I could go somewhere and get good tamales, Dillard. It makes me so mad.
Yeah, I just gotta call my mom. She'll make me some.
Would she
We'll
ship
rub it
them?
in.
If I pay for the food shipping, can you ship me some tamales? They got to be in corn husk. I don't care if you got to vacuum seal them bitches.
Nah, now you're making me do work and shit.
Yeah, come on, he's Mexican. He doesn't want to do work.
Also, if you have him do that, his mom's gonna go, "Boy, what you're making me make food for your friends? Friends that haven't eaten that?"
Boy, my mom is not Australian.
Larry, his Mexican mom is not going to say "oi." What the fuck?
Look,
Oi,
Larry,
man.
Larry,
I was trying to think of a Hispanic thing that's similar.
Ay, Dios
I-
mío.
I thought of that, but then I said "Ay Dios mío" is so cliche. I was trying to think of something
Larry,
else, so I kind of
Larry.
froze.
How
I know,
about
what you,
ay, ay,
I
ay?
know where I know where your brain was, but really stick with the merchandising.
And on that
All right,
note,
good
good
night,
night,
everybody.
everybody.